Growing people face adversity. Growing organizations face adversity. How we respond to that adversity determines the quality of our lives. It should be no surprise to anyone over 18, 20 years old that it should be no surprise anymore over 5 years old that we're going to face adversity. Things are going to happen. Even Jesus Christ said in John 16:33, in the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer because I've overcome that world. We're going to have it. It's going to happen. Nobody lives a life on pink clouds all the time unless they're in denial. Growing people face adversity. Growing organizations face adversity. If we want to grow, we will face adversity. Growth without change is impossible. If we say we want to grow, but we say we don't want to change or we want to do the same thing, it's impossible. We need to have new information. We need to have new influence. And for goodness sakes, hopefully we have a godly influence to change. We can't solve our issues and problems on the same mentality or the same thinking that created the problem in the first place. You can't solve a spontaneity problem, an impulsive problem, with impulsivity. It takes discipline. It takes denying yourself. It takes something different. And if we're unwilling to change, we will stay the same. That's very deep. Growth without change is impossible. The fastest way to change is to face reality. The fastest way. Now, you can mess around and go around the mountain and go around the mountain. But if you want to cut to the quick, if you want to get to the core, face reality. What is the core issue? What is the thing that is causing this issue, this problem to happen? Go to the core. Face reality. Stop pretending that we're something we're not. Stop sending out representatives out in the world that represent something and be a phony inside. Stop it. Face reality. Be honest. Now, if we're going to do that, to change, we must feel safe. We must feel safe enough to be vulnerable. The place I can feel safe is with the Lord. Draw near to me, he says, and I will draw near to you. We can feel safe with him. We can feel secure with him. When we go to him in our prayer time, when we go to him and just fellowship with him, there is safety. When we are surrounded with godly people, it is safe. Godly counsel is safe. We can be vulnerable. We can be open. The reason, in my opinion, people are not changing or people don't change is because we feel too threatened to be vulnerable. And if we're too threatened to be vulnerable, none of that core issue comes out. And we're left fighting all the time. If we really want to change, we face reality. If we really want to change, we become vulnerable. That is going to take emotional maturity. We're going to have to be emotionally mature to take a risk and allow people in our lives. I'm not saying you allow everyone. No. But we do allow some. We do allow some people in our lives. We allow the Lord to have us wholly, whole, all of us. We lead with our vulnerabilities. We glory in our tribulations. We lead with these. When we're leading with vulnerabilities, nothing can hurt us. Because where we are weak, he's strong. Where we're weak, he's strong. So we're strong in his strength, and that allows us to be open and vulnerable. That allows us to stop putting up fronts and acting like we're something we're not. That allows us to even get interested in other people, in other situations. That allows us to have compassion because we're not always self-centered. That is character. Character is developed through relationship. Character is developed through relationship. Who we have relationship with will shape and develop and reveal our character. If we have relationship with rascals, we will have rascally character. But if we have relationship with people that are growing, that are going somewhere, that are doing something, that are living, that are upholding a godly standard, our standards will be lifted. We'll come up too. We'll come up with them. Our character is developed through accountability. Being accountable to someone, being accountable to people. Not only in what we're doing, but we can hold others accountable. 2 Timothy 2:2, Paul is saying to Timothy, he's saying, follow me. But then Timothy is to teach faithful men. And then those faithful men are to teach other people. That is a multi-generation. Paul taught Timothy, Timothy taught faithful men, and those faithful men taught others. Who are you pouring yourself into? It is difficult. It's not impossible, but it's difficult to be a hypocrite and pour yourself into somebody at the same time. It is. Because other people have this thing called a bull detector. And they can tell when people are not honest. So we need to know it's perfectly normal to face adversity. That if we're growing, it is going to happen and we need to prepare for it. We need to be ready for this adversity when it does happen. Because we know that that's going to determine the quality of the Christian walk that we have. And once again, growth without change is impossible. If you're solving the same issue for the 5th year in a row, you're not changing. If we're chronically solving the same issue, nothing has happened. We need to get new information. We need a new revelation so we can solve that thing. We don't want to solve the same thing over and over and over. The fastest way to change is to face reality. Face reality. Hit it head on. Just like a ship in a storm. Just go straight for that thing. And understand through the storm we're going to be better. We must feel safe enough to change. We need to surround ourselves with people we can be vulnerable with. We need to develop our relationships in order to develop our character. It's not the punch. It's not the punch that you see. It's the punch that you don't see that takes you out. And when you're surrounded by wise counsel, in a multitude of counselors, there's safety. When you're surrounded by a community, you are less of a target to the world. You're less likely to be taken out. So these are things about growing up in maturity, growing up in a Christian life. This is the 3 Degrees Podcast. My name is Randy Stone. Hit like it, make a comment, say something, say you hate it, say you like it, just say something. Subscribe. That'd be great. Till next time, God bless. We'll see you soon.